A relatable title for a lot of people, no doubt. When a kid says he wants to be an astronaut or a footballer or a pop star, no parent with half a heart tells him to be realistic. You build him a spaceship out of Amazon boxes, or you take him to five-a-side on the weekends, or you get him singing lessons. But there comes a point later in life where indulging your fantasies can turn childhood dreams into adult nightmares. Exhibit A. I sacrificed years of financial stability for a career in the arts. I wish I hadn't done it, and I'm going to tell you the story. For as long as I can remember, I've been playing the piano. My parents are both classical musicians, there was always music playing in the house. So it wasn't really surprising that I absorbed what was going on around me. It sounds like I'm blowing smoke up my, well, you know where. But I was naturally talented, and my parents took notice, and so did my music teachers when I started lessons. Fast forward to when I was 10, I did an audition for a music school. I didn't think I would get in because I couldn't read music very well. But I did get in, and I spent the next 6 years of my life in and out of band rehearsals, choir rehearsals, orchestra rehearsals, as well as all the academic stuff. The school was a great incubator for people who had tunnel vision, for people who knew they wanted to be full-time musicians. But who really knows what he wants when he's 14 or 15? Who can predict the future with pinpoint accuracy? My focus was too narrow early on. It didn't leave any room for discovering something else I might be good at. After that, I attended a performing arts high school for 2 years, narrowing my focus even more and further diminishing the likelihood of any other career. I'm not going to say the name of the school, but if you're watching in London, yeah, it's the one you think it is. After high school, or sixth form as people say in England, I didn't have anywhere specific to go. Actually, I dropped out of high school, but I got my diploma a few months later, but that's another story. I hadn't applied to any colleges or universities, I didn't have any internships lined up, but I had sold one of my songs to a well-known artist when I turned 17, and I had some money. So I did what any self-respecting British 18-year-old would do, and I bumbled around Europe for the best part of a year and a half. And sure, a lot of people take gap years after high school to find themselves. I'm not saying it's a total waste of time, but for somebody with no economic prospects beyond the occasional piano performance in a hotel lobby, it was a pretty stupid idea. I wasn't completely without initiative during this time. I started a business. It was a record label. I had a lot of friends who wanted to be artists, but they didn't know how to release their music. I handled their distribution and their accounting in exchange for a percentage of the money their music made. Sometimes we would even make the songs together. I did this for years, and the opportunity cost was huge. I was helping other people build their houses before I'd built my own, and the money I made from doing so was nowhere near enough for a decent living. If I had spent less time facilitating other people's dreams and more time putting myself in the spotlight, giving my own talent a fair shake, my life could look very different right now. We all know this phrase, hindsight is 20/20. I guess it means you don't see your mistakes clearly until you make them. But it seems to me a lot of people say it dismissively to excuse their mistakes, filing them under canon events or flop era instead of things I could have done better. There is merit in constructive criticism of one's own past, and there is merit in regret if it makes you think twice before your history repeats itself. I've got more regrets than I can count, and I am ashamed of how much time I've wasted. But that shame is only valuable because I learned my lessons from it. I'll talk about a few of those lessons, but that'll be another video for another time. For now, I'm going to share my plan for the next year as a 27-year-old who is lucky enough to still have time on his side. Knock on wood, I have a lot of life left to live, and I'm determined to treat it well. There are 3 main things I want to achieve in 2026 to set myself up for a good future. Number 1, aggressively build revenue streams. I'm in a fortunate position because I earn royalties regularly from intellectual property in the form of music. For example, every time one of my songs gets played on Apple Music or Spotify. These payments arrive monthly or quarterly depending on the source, but the amount of money I make in this way is not enough to feed a family. I have to keep my expenses pretty low if I want to have anything left over. So I'm throwing myself into making more assets out of thin air. More songs, of course, because I want to add fuel to my existing fire, but also more YouTube videos on this channel, more YouTube channels even. I have a channel where I've been uploading shorts called 4-Second Finance, and I'm going to start posting to another channel where I discuss music monetization. I'm interested in building courses too, but I think you've got to be an expert to do that, and I'm reluctant to position myself as an expert on anything. But maybe all the mistakes I've made, in a variety of areas, give me a rare perspective that could be valuable. I don't know. We'll see about that one. Number 2. Outsource. After I successfully monetize all the new assets I'm creating, I want to take a step back from parts of the process that don't specifically need me to do them. For example, hiring an engineer to mix my music, hiring a videographer to film my videos, hiring a video editor to edit my videos. Time is priceless, and I want to use it as effectively as possible. If I can buy back some of my time by hiring other people for their services, that's a small price to pay. Number 3, relax. What's the point in working towards a good life if you never get to live it? We hear cautionary tales all the time of the billionaire business magnate on his deathbed, pleading with God for a new lease of life, telling his kids he wishes he'd been there for them. I don't want to turn into that guy. I do have a natural inclination to work long hours. I also de-brain rotted myself recently. I stopped watching so much short form content, so I'm able to focus for longer stretches than I could before. But in my previous periods of locking in, I neglected my mental health, my physical health, and my social health. Hunkering down in a dark room, editing for 12 hours a day with no exercise, no fresh air, and no socializing is ironically one of the quickest ways to ruin the work ethic you think you're developing. Any routine that looks like that is not sustainable. Don't get me wrong, I'll go hard when it's time to go hard. But I'm making sure there's enough rain to fill the well I'm pulling my water from. I'm gonna walk more instead of taking the subway. Because of the nature of my work and because I'm self-employed, I don't have a lot of meetings, so I'm not often in a rush to get wherever I'm going. I'm lucky to live in a very safe, very walkable city. I'm gonna exercise more in general. I used to run cross-country when I was a kid, and when I lived in Europe during the event that must not be named for demonetization reasons, I used to do 5Ks in like 22 minutes. I don't know why I let that habit die. It's pretty cold out where I live right now, but there's a gym in my building and treadmills at the ready. I'm gonna socialize more too. I used to be pretty introverted, now I'm probably a mixture of introvert and extrovert. I like being by myself, but when I'm having a hot chocolate with a friend, I don't drink coffee, or having dinner in a small group of people, it feels like a battery gets recharged somewhere in me. I want to put in place more regular reminders of why I'm pushing myself so hard. Of course I want financial freedom, who doesn't? But not at the expense of living the life I have right now. The past wasn't always perfect and the future isn't guaranteed. I'm going to spend less time reminiscing and predicting and more time making the most of today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. See you next time.